Hello everybody, welcome back to SnowRunner Alaska for my hard mode playthrough series. We are back in Mountain River, not far off where we left off. Done a little bit of staging between the episodes. Just realised I probably should have put the ramp down on that trailer before trying to do this. See if I can lift it over the ramp. Kind of want to let it swing around anyway. And do that. So we're loading up this 4-slot cargo, which has to be delivered into White Valley. You can pick these up in White Valley. So arguably, you could argue that I should be picking it up there, rather than hauling it from a different map. But I think, well, partly I didn't initially realise that fact, so therefore I brought this truck to this location anyway. But also, the pickup location in White Valley is right on the south of the map, and you have to drive past the delivery point. So seeing as how I'm here, I may as well load it here and just haul it in with this truck from here. It's quite a big cargo to try and sort of maneuver the camera so I can see it, but I think that looks about right. Engine off, restore the crane, let's get hooked up and then we can get moving. Pack the cargo, get moving. So this is the drilling equipment contract. I mean, quite surprising how well we're cracking through these contracts, but yeah, I've got to deliver two of these, one to White Valley, one to Northport. Pack that cargo, and the delivery point for this one in White Valley is. It's actually a site we've not been into before, but it's here, the drilling site. So I'm intending to come down this west route into that drilling site. And I don't know that I've done much with this road, so I don't know exactly how good a road this is, or not. So maybe coming all the way down the main road and then turning in would be better. I don't know, really. But anyway, yeah, so the other location to pick them up is this aerodrome. You can get that same drilling equipment, but like I say, it's all the way down the other end of the map to get to that, so you got to drive past the destination and come back again, which might end up as being, would have been a better way to do it, except that I came to Mountain River in the first place, and I probably, yeah, while I'm here I might as well take it from here. So BM17, I'm going to fill her up with fuel on the way out. We've got the Royal BM17 on the gooseneck trailer with this 4-slot cargo. And the first job is to get it into White Valley. So this truck is engageable all-wheel drive, no diff lock available. But on this road type of task, I think it'll be okay. I hope it'll be okay. There's my little scout trailer, which I will just quickly fill up with fuel. So that's the BM full 280 litre tank. The Hummer is just in the background there. You can just see it over the back of the crane. And I haven't done anything else on this map, so I've still got an upgrade to collect, but it's not a critical upgrade for any of the trucks I'm currently driving, so that's why I haven't prioritised picking it up yet. Without further ado, let's get ourselves up the hill and into White Valley. And then the other thing of prep, the other element of prep work I did for this episode off cam before I started recording is I moved the derry from Northport without any cargo or attachments down into Pedro Bay, ready to pick up the high saddle. And looking through the missions contracts, I think we've only got 2 high saddle deliveries to make now on this region. Ooh, doesn't like that. Why is it? So let me put that in low. So is that... Why is that sliding like that? I wouldn't... This has got chains on it, and I know it hasn't got a diff lock, but it has got all-wheel drive. I wonder why that... That just seemed to die on the hill and then roll backwards. Slightly worrying. Yeah, so the derry is prepped, ready to move the coiled tubing, I think, high saddle trailer from Pedro Bay back to this map, Mountain River. And then after that, it has to take another large high saddle cargo from Mountain River back to Northport. And then I think that might be it for the derry on this region. Unless I choose to put a high saddle on it, and a low saddle on it, and use it for any further work involving this trailer. We'll see. And then the other thing, the other sort of main category of tasks, there's obviously more cargo contracts to do, but the other main category of tasks that I've got to think about is logging. So there's a whole load of logging contracts. They're not all unlocked yet, so I think I might, a bit like I did with Michigan, I might just leave them till the very, very last, get everything else done first. So finish off any tasks on these maps, finish off the contracts that don't include logging, do the contests, and then maybe do the logging last, very last. So anyway, which way should I go? Should I go down this road? Is this going to be tarmac, or is this going to be... I think I'll try it. So I'm going to come down and try this route and hope that it's not a muddy mess. Hope it's tarmac. If it's not tarmac, then I'll regret it, I think. See how we do. If I get to the point where you leave the tarmac or leave the main road and it looks like it's a muddy trail, then I'll just change plan. So I was kind of just listening to the trailer then, because it was quite noisy. Right, so this is where I would... I'll tell you what, that is just mud. I know it's probably okay, but I'm going to play it safe. So I'm just going to follow the road down until I get to here, and then at least I've only got to deal with one short stretch of mud, rather than maybe wrestling without a dip lock all the way through that long run. So yeah, change your plan. Stick to the asphalt. So yeah, hoping to get quite a lot done in this episode. And this is probably the biggest test that we've given this Royal BM17, but so far it's performed admirably. I'm a little bit concerned as to why or how it cut out and then slid backwards on that first hill after the sawmill. We'll see. It's what a noisy cargo. And then when it comes to the logging, I am considering using this BM for it. As I say, it's performing quite well, and it can take the long log front carrier. So my original choice for long logs especially, but maybe for all logging, was the Paystar. And actually, it's one of the reasons I went and got the Paystar, is that it's one of the vehicles, along with one of the Azovs, that can do the log loading crane plus the long log attachment and trailer. So therefore it can trundle around self-sufficient for doing long logs. But it's such a thirsty girl that I'm a bit worried about doing that. I think I might use this instead, and then just accept the fact that I've got a crane truck sat at the logging camp to load me up. The same way we did Michigan, basically. So yeah, this might be my long log hauler for this map, this region. Right. So we leave the asphalt here. Just back that up to give me a better angle to get in this tight cut turn. And yeah, this is, so going off-road with this trailer, probably the right call to do it this way round rather than being off-road for that whole journey. I just remembered though that I haven't actually got the best winch on this yet. The Taker's still got the only advanced medium winch that I own. Oh, that does look asphalt there now on the left. So maybe that road was patchy, not mud all the way. This particular contract unlocks quite a lot of others. It's one of the reasons for getting it done first, because it just gives me more flexibility about the other contracts that I'll do. And yeah, this is asphalt, so actually probably wouldn't have made much difference which way I ran. So that container's twisted. Quite flexible, aren't they? Interesting. Right, so unload. Done. Good, clean work. He's impressed and he's giving me some money. Good. Right then. So let's have a look at what that unlocked real quick. So that's just added oil barrels times 5 to be delivered somewhere. I can get them. I could get them from here. Oh, they need to be delivered down to the aerodrome. So 5 oil barrels from here down to the aerodrome is one option. Let's just accept that. And then aerodrome logging, which, as I said, I'm going to leave till last, I think. And then I'm still locked. Cargo Apocalypse is locked behind cargo delivery, as is Order Master Supreme. So these 3 are all locked behind cargo delivery. We just unlocked 3 here. So oil rig. So this is another high saddle one that I'd missed. So there's another, yeah, okay. So So that's one that needs the dairy. Accept that. Needs the dairy, picking up from there and taking to the aerodrome. This is the valley one that I really want to do, because that opens up that road that in an earlier episode I was a bit miffed that that pipe was down when I was trying to get to this watchtower. So that's quite a lot of deliveries into that pipe. That's going to be a job for the Paystar. It's just more maneuverable than trying to do that with this off-road, with this low-loader trailer. I could technically do it with this low-loader trailer. I just don't fancy that amount of off-road driving to get it done. Let's accept it anyway. And then from water to land, 4 units of drilling spare parts taken from this service site around to the factory. And again, that's probably that sort of task. I just prefer the Paystar for that. Is there anything new on yeah, there's some new stuff on Morrison's as well. So cargo delivery is the one that everything out. There's other stuff that's locked behind for this cargo tubing semi-trailer. We just also unlocked 4 lots of consumables from the aerodrome into the sawmill. So you can kind of see here there'll be some chains of stuff where take things into the aerodrome and then load up with something else and take it onto the sawmill. So again, Paystar. And then another drilling stuff delivery, another drilling equipment taken from either this aerodrome, or I could get that from Mountain River where we just came from, and deliver it to Northport. Okay, right. So quite a complicated mix of things that I could choose to do, and then it's always a choice. And what I think I'm going to do, I think this is okay, is I'm going to be a bit cheeky. I'm going to load up 5 lots of oil onto this 4-slot trailer and take a chance on getting that delivered to the aerodrome without losing the one that won't actually be packed. So yeah, a bit of a chance, but I'm feeling brave. Turn this around. Just got to get the trailer close enough for me to be able to load it with five slots. I'm going to put 4 slots on and pack them, obviously, and then I'll have the other one loose but attached to the winch or held on by the winch. I'll work it out. Detach the trailer. Get myself moved. 5 slots to load. Please and thank you. Let's pull forward a little bit. Right, so cargo, fuel. I think I'm positive it's oil barrels, but let's check the map anyway. 5 times oil barrels. Yeah, so I can get fuel or oil barrels here. But I want oil barrels. Onto the loading platform, please. So I know this isn't a step deck trailer, but that's what I'm going to try basically. I am going to see if I can get this down to the aerodrome without dropping that pallet of oil. What do you reckon? Bit of camera jankiness. I mean, so really, the Paystar can do this because the Paystar has got a 5-slot loadout. So that's not, it wouldn't be a problem for the Paystar to do this. The only reason I'm doing this is that the next thing I want to do with this truck is to take another one of those 4-slot containers from this map up through into Northport and deliver it to the drilling site there. So it just, to me at the moment, makes sense to give this a go. I don't quite know about unloading it at the other end. I'll probably have to unload the 4 and then maneuver this one with the crane onto the flatbed, pack it so that I can unload it. But if this was real life, and if my job was, if I was in that drilling site and my job was to move 5 pallets of this to the other site, I would put 1 pallet on top of the front one probably of this trailer and just strap it down. So I don't think it's unreasonable, apart notwithstanding any weight limits that might apply and so on. But what I'm doing here isn't too dissimilar to what I would do if it was a real world and I was in a emergency rescue scenario. So I had a question in my comments, I think it was yesterday the question came in, maybe the day before, about do I intend carrying on doing the DLCs as well? And the answer to that is yes. My intention is 100% completion, and by the time I complete phase 6, well, probably by the time I complete phase 1, the phase 7 pack will be out, and I think there's a phase 7 and 8. But yeah, my intention with this series, as long as people are watching it and as long as people seem to be enjoying it, is I'm enjoying playing it and I'll complete the game anyway, whatever happens. So as long as people enjoy watching it, I'll carry on recording it with the plan of having 100% completion of a hard mode on this series. So yeah. Right, I just make sure I know where I'm going here. I can refuel here if I need to. What's my fuel like? See, that's pretty good, that truck, isn't it? I've just come down from Mountain River. I've only used half a tank. Best way into the aerodrome. I think I'll trust myself to take this route. I don't feel particularly any need to go all the way around. Not with this cargo anyway. I'll get fuel on the way out after I've loaded the next cargo. This is the only risky bit of this route. But we're on a winch if we need it. Not bad, not bad at all. Yeah, that works. That worked out fine. Back it up a bit so the truck's in the box to do the unload. So 4 available. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what? Before I forget, activate the ramp so it's easier to load the 4 slot. And then activate the crane so I can put this on and pack it. Oil barrels, unload. Oil barrels number 5. Great work. Got to keep the cogs turning, you know. Time is money. Tell me about it. Time is $2,050 worth of money. Not bad. And then 1 drilling equipment, not on the trailer, onto the platform, please. We will... my mouse is just behaving a little bit strange. Apologies for that. Yeah, detach. Maneuver myself so that I can load up. And get that loaded onto the trailer and then hauled up to Northport. Nice progress. It's a big thing to maneuver though. I haven't bought a large crane yet, but this is a sort of cargo that's more comfortable to move with a large... Even though this crane is capable of it, more comfortable to move with a large crane. Just let it swing around. Back to cargo, raise the ramp, and off we go back to Northport. Make sure we got the right thing activated. So I'm just going to accept that so I know I've read it. So this one? No. This one? No. Which one is it? Supply crates. Not that one. Drilling stuff delivery. So that one needs this cargo taken back to Northport. So that's a case of basically straight up through the middle of the map. And in Northport, I think this goes into the drilling site, which is quite a thing to try and do with this truck. So we'll see how it goes. Slightly less confident going this way, but we're going to try it. Only because I think there are less winch points going this way. Until I can get to that lamppost ahead, which I can't do with this winch very easily. Maintain a bit of speed. Only came this way because I need to get fuel anyway, so. Nearly there. I just need to get, how close am I? Get a winch on there, so I need to go about a 6 feet, 2 meters. Funnily enough, I have noticed it with this truck more than others, is that sometimes when you can't get traction in low, I don't know, I wonder if it's to do with not having a diff lock. I don't know why it would be. It feels to me like a game mechanic problem, but if you can't get traction in one of the low crawler gears, sticking it into auto and suddenly it starts moving. I have noticed that before with this truck. It makes no sense, but again, I'm not into fighting against the game's mechanics. So, refuel. And this is a pretty good trailer. It's got quite a lot in it. It's still got over 3,000 litres. So straight up through the map into the drilling site in Northport. Here we are back in Northport. So let's confirm Yeah, this is a drilling site delivery. So I think the route in for that is down through here. I feel pretty comfortable taking this through this water because this water is quite shallow and a good stony surface underneath it. And then for this particular truck with this trailer, this is going to be the dodgy bit because this off-road bit is maybe asking a bit much, but we'll see. That's the route anyway. Try and get there before it gets dark so that we've got good visibility for the bit we're doing off-road. Feels like a bit of late afternoon coming in. Probably a couple of hours of daylight left, game time. The way things are going, we are going to be in Tame here before you know it. Because which I have mixed feelings about, because it means we're making great progress here, but it felt like it took ages to get to the actual snow in SnowRunner, and then before you know it, we're going to be off messing around in mud in the Russian Federation. But hey, that's the game. So it feels like my engine's just dying, but I can't necessarily see why. There is a diff lock issue here, in that I've got some wheels that are just spinning and dumping power. I have got the Taiga on this map, so I do have the option, and it's got a low saddle on it as well, so I do have the option if I get stuck to the point that I think the Taiga would be better with its all-wheel drive and always on diff lock. I can give it a try. Winch off the trailer. Can't really see what's stopping me. It's kind of rocks underneath the wheels, I suppose. Interesting. Yeah, that's definitely a truck limitation, isn't it? Let's get this. Partly because it'll be a good comparison. Let's just get this moved. Give the Taiga a chance. The Taiga is... Where did I leave the Taiga? Oh, blimey, I left it all the way up in the mountains. Oof. Kind of want to get back down to this road. Camera, janky. Come on, Dev, sort that out. Alright, I'm just going to get this one back to that trailer. And I'll see you guys there. Alright, okay, so here we are back at the BM on the side of the road and the trailer. And honestly, I think I probably reacted a little bit spur of the moment in giving up on the BM for that one. But that's partly because I just wanted to do a comparison of how the Taiga coped with pulling something out of an area where the BM was stuck. But I'm sure I could have wiggled and jiggled the BM forward a bit more than it was. But anyway, we're back. So let's just see how we do. Stick it into low, high. And no hesitation at all, it just started pulling it. So I think that's the benefit of an always on diff lock. So where this Taiga struggles is it's not got as powerful an engine and it hasn't got race suspension, so it's not got as big a wheels as it will eventually have. But I do think that with that race suspension and the bigger wheels, this will outperform the BM all day every day. And that's not knocking the BM, it's just it's not designed with the same things in mind. It hasn't got an always on, it hasn't got a lockable diff lock. The lack of a lockable diff lock is quite a handicap, as is this one not being quite as tall with the absence of a raised saddle. So this, you know, we haven't got to the delivery destination yet. But in terms of that specific thing where this trailer was stuck, you can see the difference in how the BM got stuck, but the Taiga just pulled it out. And I'm sure the Derry would make even easier work of it. It has given me slight pause for thought, though, on the earlier idea of the BM being the long logging vehicle. Because by definition, lumber mills tend to be a bit more muddy, boggy. I'm not quite as confident about going in there with this, with the Royal BM. Bit of time to decide on that and take some advice from people that have done this more. So I'm stuck on a tree root there. Let's back her up. Take a slightly wider line to get past that tree root. I'm so caught up on my editing and so on that actually, at the time that I'm recording this, episode 16 has gone live and is available to you guys, and this will be episode 17. So I haven't got a backlog now. In fact, if anything, I'm probably uncomfortably short of content pre-recorded. Because if I have a day where I don't feel like editing, I haven't got a choice at the moment. So I'll probably, today or tomorrow, have a play session where I record up 3 or 4 episodes to get ahead of myself a little bit again, just so that I've got that comfort zone that I can have a day off by doing extra gameplay plus editing on a Friday, and then Saturday I can do other things. Maybe even looking at building a sim rig, which I haven't started yet, by the way. I mentioned that previously, but that I was going to take my Logitech wheel, pedals, shifter and heavy industry side panel and build myself a 4x2 timber framework sim rig type of setup, DIY job. And I haven't I've done some drawings, but I haven't bought any materials and started that yet. Alright, well I think that just demonstrated the Taiga being a superior vehicle for towing this off-road in comparison to the BM. But the BM has worked admirably on road, where the lack of a diff lock doesn't make so much difference. So, cargo mode, drilling equipment, unload. Oh, that's a nice chunk of XP. $790 and $5,900. And from that green tick, I think that now means profile. Hang on a minute. So where does it show this then? Profile for Alaska. Is it in maps? It's maps, isn't it? So I think, yeah, that means that the new drilling site is built. So we've got one of the 3 main regional ticks done. Nice achievement. Pleased with that. So without further ado, I do think there is time for me to do one more thing in this episode. Looking at the length of the episode, there's one more thing in mind that I can do. And that is to jump into the dairy and tow that tubing trailer, which you can't really see because it's dark, but that tubing trailer, just gotta find the right one a sec. This one. Deliver this to Mountain River, and I think I've got time to do that within the duration of this episode. So this is a high saddle trailer. Didn't really want to do this one in the dark, but I don't want to. I haven't got anything else that I would want to use the darkness hours for, and I don't have the luxury of just making it daylight, hard mode, etc. You've all heard that a few times by now. Attach a trailer. So that's a pretty chunky trailer. I have to be honest. That does not look as in proportion as some of the other ones. But anyway, I'm sure we'll be fine. So this one has to go up through this map, which is just a long snaking trail up through the map, out into Mountain River, and then in Mountain River it's not too far from the gateway. So that's why I think I can do this in this episode, even though I'm having to do it in the middle of the night. That's a big trailer. I don't really want to do that in the dark. I want a decent thumbnail out of that trailer. I'm not going to get one like that, am I? That in the daylight would be quite a nice thing. You will have to forgive me. I'm going to do something a little bit weird and random. Because I don't want to deliver that big trailer in the dark. So I've just set you up to think that I'm doing that in this episode. And I'm not, so apologies for that. I know this is dark as well, but at least it's kind of not as interesting or important a piece of content. I just really don't fancy taking that trailer in the dark. Now, I don't know if I can get underneath this pipeline here, but I'm going to have a look in the Hummer and see if I can, because I want to get to that upgrade just as something to do to fill out the end of the episode. But I am not. And then at the start of the next episode it'll be daylight and we'll move that big trailer. So yeah, I do apologise, but it just doesn't feel like something I want to do in the dark. I don't think I've done that before, is alter my plans just because it's dark. But hopefully you understand. Right, I'm going to come across here. Probably should have just gone up the river in the first place, but come across here to the river and see if it's possible to get underneath this pipe. It looks like it should be alright. Yeah. So, Hummer. Where is this upgrade? It is literally up through these trees and there. And I can see the marching ants yellow box for it now that I turned the lights off. So it's just ahead of me. Super sticky tree branches. Oh, there's a trail here. What's that trail then? That doesn't show up on the map, does it? No, that trail does not show up on the map. I'm driving over a road apparently. Can I fit through that gap? Only got to get my nose in there. So this is 2700T engine, not for the current truck. But it does fit the Royal BM. Now I think the engine that's in the Royal BM is actually better. But we'll check next time we're at a garage with that truck. And on that note, really, I think the episode is done. I know the end of this episode has been a little bit random and weird, so I do apologise for that. But needs must a little bit. I've got to try and do the fun stuff in a way that is fun for me as well, and I just didn't fancy doing that in the dark. I don't know where this trail actually goes. I think it probably just goes on up the hill, and I don't really want to do that. I want to get back, probably. I'll probably just want to get back underneath that pipeline to the river and on the road. Bit of frame drop there because my mouse found its way off the gaming window onto the side monitor. Alright, there we are. And that will do me. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this episode here. I hope you forgive me for the slight random end to the episode with the change of direction after jumping into the dairy, but just felt like the right thing to do. I will finish here and hope to see you in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.